Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into this. This is going to be a today's topic video. It is for October the 15th. Um, and we are starting out with serendipity. By the way, I just want to say a belated happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, I always forget you guys are like the second Monday of October. Is that right? So that would have been on the 13th. So I'm so sorry that I didn't celebrate you guys properly on the 13th. But I'm sorry, my brain is, I barely remember our holidays as well, if that makes it any less bad. But I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I saw it in the comments a couple places, and so I was like, oh, I didn't get to celebrate with you guys, but I'm very thankful that you guys are here. Thank you to all my Canadian friends and neighbors up above us, right? You're in the apartment up above us. I'm in the US, so we're the downstairs unit, you guys are the upstairs unit. And it's great to have you guys as neighbors. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving. All right, we start out with serendipity. And we got a four-leaf clover. Ooh, this looks very positive. This looks like a stroke of good luck could come up on the 15th. Let's see. We need a good lucky deck, too. You know, this is great because I'm going to probably post another roll of the dice message where I'll leave comments on, and if you guys want me to roll dice, I'll comment back to you and tell you what number you hit, and then that'll correspond with something in the video. I have this desire to do another one of those. I don't know if you guys really like them. Maybe they're just fun for me, but watch for that tomorrow, okay? Or, well, somewhere throughout the day on the 15th. We got the High Priestess in the reverse. We got the Seven of Wands upright, and we got the King of Swords in the reverse. If there is something serendipitous, even though we have the four-leaf clover, what's crazy is we got two people that could have been at odds that are going to bump into each other, possibly in some kind of a melee, or maybe it's not that. Maybe it's that if something's being revealed all of a sudden, right? The High Priestess could be a person who, by the way, could be a Virgo, could be a Cancer, could be a Pisces. So we could have possibly a divine feminine in any of those houses who is going to unexpectedly bump into a King of Swords, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And these two could have conflict together, but they're going to bump into each other and have an opportunity to see each other eyeball to eyeball, maybe talk stuff out, maybe argue stuff out, but things that need to be changed. So I could look at it that way. And that might be a very positive, serendipitous turn of events. Or this could be a situation where possibly something light is going to be shed on something in a very serendipitous way. And this could be, wow, I just figured out that this person maybe is not someone I want to deal with. This can be a karmic energy. This can be a selfish energy. This can be anytime a King of Swords goes into the reverse, instead of being balanced and fair and, someone that we can really communicate with, they can be hostile. They can be stubborn. They can be biased. I don't know how to look at this just yet, but this could be something. And we say it's good luck, it's good fortune, but sometimes finding out somebody is pretty shady can also be good fortune. It's like, wow, I was about to deal with that person, and now I found out somebody else warns me, like, whoa, don't mess with them. But not in this storyline. That's not what it's about. It is two individuals who unexpectedly see each other, interact with each other. We'll ask about the serendipity in just a minute, but this is soulmates who encounter each other, maybe during a time of strife. Maybe the two of them don't have conflict. Maybe they bump into each other. Heck, it could be two people who've never met in this lifetime, but they're past life soulmates. They walk into whatever, a coffee shop, a cafe, and, there's some unpleasantness or some kind of, whatever, two people witnessing like a tense exchange between other people. And these two are actually able to meet, make eye contact, maybe calm some kind of conflict, something along those lines. That could be the scenario as well. I don't necessarily want to keep saying that there's conflict, because the Seven of Wands is obstacles, but it's obstacles that we can definitely overcome. So let me take one more look. Tell me just about the King of Swords in the reverse. Why is he in the reverse? Nine of Wands and the Star. If anything, he wants so bad to heal from whatever happened. He's possibly quite wounded. He's possibly... Okay, so this could be two people that really needed to talk. And maybe this isn't even them bumping into each other. Maybe somebody accidentally dials somebody's number and they end up talking to the ex. And it's like, I literally didn't mean to dial your number. I'm sorry about that. Or, somehow two people that actually have needed to clear the air are going to be brought back together. High Priestess, tell me about you. Queen of Swords and the Moon. Okay, so you notice we have a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords. This High Priestess is actually ready to talk, but maybe she didn't know how. She didn't know how to open the door. She didn't know if they wanted to talk to her. They've been over here in kind of like a world of hurt. And yes, maybe really bent out of shape, really sad, really frustrated, really, sometimes we act badly when we're wounded. And if this King of Swords was hurt, especially because he's hurt by the fact that she is his Queen of Swords, I'm wondering if these two had like a stalemate, the silence between the two of them for quite some time. She certainly didn't know she was going to bump into them or suddenly hear from them. Or let's go back to the serendipity. How is it that these two are encountering each other? Remember, 7 is a divine number, and that was the thing that sits between them. An obstacle, but a way to get beyond the obstacle is what's coming up. With that serendipity card, we have got the Ace of Wands, the Fool, the Six of Pentacles. Either the universe is conspiring to throw these two together, because I usually, in this card, I always look at this as the universe, because there's like this glow of light around their head. Certainly the universe uses other people, I think, sometimes as like an agent, of the universe. So this could be somebody who's, it's not the universe per se, but rather, let's say, an older, wiser person that manipulates just a smidge to get these two to talk to each other. There is definitely this leap of faith. There's definitely this, kind of joyful opportunity. I don't know if these two are being brought together by the power of the universe through some third party, some, like some individual here on Earth, but they're an agent of the universe. This could be maybe through work-related things. Maybe this is two people who will unexpectedly be put on, assigned on a work project together. Maybe this is two people who will be at the same place and time to whatever, pick up things for their businesses, separately. But this just says there's like, so there could be unexpected travel. Also with that Fool card, the Ace of Wands, they could see each other kind of excitedly at an event or something. But somehow the serendipity is these two were meant to still interact. They were meant to work things out together. I still don't know. Tell me about that Six of Pentacles. Is this through work or business that they wind up, encountering each other again? We have the Lovers. I guess, why does it matter? We have a Six of Wands. Again, maybe some possibly travel just based off of the imagery, but King of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. This almost makes me think that two people, obviously the angels are helping them, but two people might be in the same place at the same time, possibly. I almost think he had a little bit more intention, and for her, it's more serendipitous. Is it possible that he goes kind of looking for her just a little? He certainly is one who I think would be traveling, and I say that because of the star. I say that because he's on the motorcycle. And here he's on a ship, on a boat. She, meanwhile, seems to be busy doing other things. She seems to be single. She seems to be living her single life. And she also was the one who wasn't really sure if he even wanted to speak to her. So I kind of think it's not so much serendipity as it is maybe he put some effort into this, but it's very good fortune, very good luck that if he put in the effort to hope that he'd bump into her, that it falls into place the way it does. That might be the case. Can I look again? Masculine, are you actually secretly looking for her? Are you traveling to be in her region or area? Are you Page of Pentacles? I would say he's definitely trying to reach out to her. Page of Swords, though, in the reverse, and the Magician in the reverse. There is something else here where it's like, even though I think he is legitimately trying to get a chance to like connect to her or reach out to her, I still think he has no idea how to do it. And somehow it all still slides into place. Like he thinks about doing something, he doesn't know how to do it. And then somehow, just because of his desire, the universe is like, well, we're going to help you put you in the right place at the right time. It could be something bizarre like that. Let me just look again. What's with the Page of Swords in the reverse? Page of Wands and the Death card. I think this is one of those stories where, sometimes the thing that we want most inside of us is so powerful that it leads doors to open. It makes things happen, even if we were like, well, I would talk to her in a minute if I could manifest talking to her, but I honestly don't even know how to connect to her anymore. I don't know how to look her up. I don't, it's like a blank page if I do, look up her name or something, and she probably doesn't want to hear from me anyway. I mean, yes, I wish I could talk to her. But it says maybe because he acknowledges that to himself, that's where the universe takes over. Because I mean, the raven is here, and again, the raven is like, that's a messenger from, the gods. It almost feels like he maybe doesn't know how to even begin to reach out to her, but the universe is going to conspire to help something, again, serendipitously work out with this big stroke of good luck. So many things have to go just right for them to bump into each other. But if he hadn't authentically wanted to actually talk to her and maybe acknowledge it, I would love to have a conversation with her. But I don't know how that's going to happen. If he hadn't acknowledged that and admitted it to himself, I think the universe would never have assisted in helping these two to get the chance to bump into each other. So let me just go back to this one more time. So something is changing, right? That Death card was there. 7 of Cups in the reverse, 10 of Wands upright, 4 of Cups. It's a really big breakthrough in certainly for him, in his emotions, in the way he looks at the situation. He's no longer confused. This has been a huge burden. Whatever happened between the two of them, whatever silence it was in the past, it was painful. He was salty over it. He was hurt over it. This is not, even if he's part of the reason that silence existed, I mean, he went into the reverse. If he's the reason everything went silent, he more or less shut down on her, but then he's also been the one suffering the most. And he's finally saying, the reason I'm suffering is because I wanted to talk to her. Maybe that is him essentially energetically moving the boulder. Because this is him actually feeling the feels. Yes, I'm freaking disappointed. This has been a heavy burden on me. I felt awful about what happened. In fact, I have a ton of regrets because I quit talking to her. Okay, it's not so much serendipity then, as it is when you change your mindset and you change your behavior, sometimes you change your whole outcome, is what it says. This is very much we'll say on his side, which would make sense again, because it's like we saw her, the Queen of Swords, with the moon saying, I have no idea if he ever wants to talk to me again. So that's why we have the crackling power coming in from the sky as well. He's taken charge of whatever the issue was that occurred between the two of them. And he's saying, I wish I hadn't shut down on her. Honestly, I would like to talk to her again. It's like he's powering things back up, flipping on all the switches. And that in turn creates a ripple effect, not just in his energy, not just in his thoughts, but it creates this ripple effect in the external world that actually, even though he has no idea how to reach out to her, somehow the universe is like, okay, I'll help you. We got a 5 of Cups. Something about a bridge, water, electricity. Be mindful of things like water and electricity. Don't leave, or, don't put your hair dryer, next to the bathtub. Those, don't make toast in the bathtub. I don't know. There's some public service announcement here of be careful with electricity and water, because those two cards side by side are making me nervous. King of Wands. That King of Wands is him driving somewhere, maybe driving across the bridge, across the river. Maybe he does suddenly have to travel. And this is the part where he couldn't have planned on being in the right place at the right time to talk to her, because he didn't even know where she was, or he didn't know how to reach out to her. He's the one who shut down all dialogue. He's the one who wishes he could open up dialogue. He's the one who's saying, I admit, this has been awful. The not talking to her has been freaking awful, but I don't even know how to reach back out to her. Maybe she's since blocked him or something. But in this case, it's like then he has to travel anyway, and he winds up either in her side of town or in her neighborhood, or maybe she's moved, but now it turns out, whatever, they're shopping at the same neighborhood grocery store, or he has to travel for work, and it turns out he's in her area. This just feels like, because he was honest with himself, suddenly other things open up. The moon in the reverse, the sun in the reverse. He's also much more open to the fact that when all this happened between us, I was upset and I was hurt, but how do I think she felt? She was probably really hurt too. This is him just now understanding how miserable it could have been for her as well. Maybe that's the other reason, when we start to be more considerate and more honest with ourselves, sometimes the universe is like, excellent, you're getting the message, you're getting the lesson, you're ready to share again with a soulmate. Final message on this. The Star, the 9 of Wands. Again, with that, this time it's her on the Star card, and it's like, now he's saying, I actually need to heal what wounds she may have felt too. I wasn't the only one sitting near her. I shut down on her because I was hurt, but what? I probably hurt her too. There's still this distance. I feel like even though he didn't know how he was going to reach out to her, didn't know how to even find her, bizarrely, it's like he's going to bump into her, is what this storyline says. And it's because he's ready to make amends. That's actually awesome and kind of sweet, and I'm super happy for these characters to get a chance to heal things. But it's through sheer sincere willpower. I really want to make things right. That's what changes, his mindset and his energy changes the outcome in his actual life. That's actually really beautiful. All right, let's get a card or two for someone whose birthday is on October the 15th. We have got the 4 of Cups, we've got the 5 of Swords, and we got the 9 of Coins. I think this is the difference between somebody saying, look, I know I'm not going to please everybody. In fact, if I'm pleasing everybody, I'm probably not pleasing me. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt that once upon a time it used to bother me a lot, that sometimes people won't like the way I do things, the way I do my hair, the way I dress, the way I live my life. But better to just let them have their opinions and not feel bad that I disappointed them, because the better question is, am I making my own self happy? Then isn't that greater than the worry about whether or not someone else is disappointed in me? Whose happiness is more important, me and my quality of life, or that other people approve of my life? So it feels a very empowered year, where a character, it doesn't mean that they're callous, but if they were a bit of a people pleaser before, they don't people please anymore. Or if this is somebody who used to be bothered if other people didn't, like what they were doing, this is a character who's like, look, I have to like what I'm doing. You don't, only I do. And it just feels very, I don't like our character's going to start to have a real abundance in their life because they're looking at it through that lens now. There's possibly good finances, good stability, good friendships, and good self-worth coming in the next year. That's beautiful. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribe.